Hi. Oop. Hi, guys. Welcome back to How Come. So this episode is going to be in two parts. The theme of the episode is sobriety and sex. Yesterday, I recorded with Seamus Kirst. He is a journalist, and he's also written a book called Shitfaced. He writes about political and entertainment things. Name drop some people, Seamus.
Yeah, so mostly I just profile different figures in both of those fields. So I've interviewed people from Khloe Kardashian to Amber Rose. Then
Amazing.
over to Elizabeth Warren to get a little more serious.
Amazing. Yesterday we recorded the first half with Sydnee Washington, who is a comedian. So you're going to hear the first half of that, and then
Mercury was in retrograde a little.
Yeah,
our energy
Mercury
levels
was kind
were a
of
little
our
low.
energy levels were really low. I was also dead sober. Usually I smoke before the pod, and it was just I don't know. It was weird. I think we all had crises.
Yeah, it just got a little Dr. Phil.
Yeah,
which was cute and fun, but maybe if people are I'm going to this for a laugh. That's not what they would have gotten yesterday, but there was some real talk.
You'll learn.
Yeah.
You'll certainly learn. So we got a little dark, and then I completely forgot a bunch of questions I wanted to ask Seamus. And so Sydney's a lot busier. She's a full-time working comic in the city. So I got my friend Britni Diamond from college. She's
Hello.
awesome, and she is also a sober person.
Yes, that is my main credential here
That is
today.
your main credential. And she's cool, and she's a Virgo like me.
Thank you.
And she
And
has
Beyonce.
cats.
Yes.
And so we relate on a lot of levels. So anyway, you guys are going to hear the first part with me, Seamus, and Sydney yesterday first. And then we'll come back with me, Seamus, and Britt for the second half. And then write me and tell me if I was so weird in one half or both. Okay, you guys, let's get this episode started.
How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz.
I love the theme song.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love you.
So cute.
I love it too. Shout out to Sam and Bill for writing the best theme song ever. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to How Come. I have writer extraordinaire of Shitfaced, Seamus Kirst, here.
Hi.
Hi. And I have the wonderful Sydnee Washington. She is a comedian and the host of the Unofficial Expert podcast.
Yay!
Hey!
Remy, you were on our podcast.
I was
You're
on your
great.
podcast.
Daddy's Little Girl Expert.
It switched in the middle. I went from Daddy's Little Girl to
You
I
were
went
freeloader.
from freeloader to Daddy's Little Girl.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I was going to
honestly.
say pretty similar.
Shut up. Okay. You guys shut the fuck up. I work my ass off.
Yes.
So the topic of this week is sex and sobriety. And in honor of that, I'm sober for the first episode ever I have recorded. No weed. So I feel weird. And if I seem weird, I feel weird. But I'm really excited to talk to you. You wrote an entire book, Seamus, about drinking. And
Yes.
you want to give the Cliff's Notes?
Yeah, so actually on Saturday, it's my 5-year anniversary of sobriety. So the book, thank you.
That's great.
I know I'm feeling old and kind of,
Closer, yeah.
closer.
Thank you.
So the book is just kind of about high school and middle school, and in high school I went to rehab for a month, which sounds kind of glam and Lindsay Lohan-esque, but it was insurance covered, not glam,
Okay.
more kind of holes, Stanley Gelnat's
Okay.
reform camp.
Where did you go to high school?
I went to high school in a high school called Corcoran, and I grew up in Syracuse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Honey, that still feels very privileged to me.
Really?
Yeah.
The rehab or the high school?
All of it. All
Oh,
of
no.
it.
I went to a public city school, and the rehab, I swear it was not it was fully
You didn't
insurance
meet
covered.
anybody afterwards that you would want to hang with?
No, I did meet people who I stayed
Oh,
in touch with, but
really?
it was it was very much my rehab experience was I got there and they were insurance will cover this for 10 days, and then after 10 days they were it
have
will
to
cover
leave?
it for 10 more days, but I kept thinking I was gonna have to leave all the time, and a lot of people there.
Oh.
I
don't-
you were on edge.
It was really on edge, and nobody. I don't think anyone there was paying for it. out of pocket. Like it was totally. A lot of people were.
That's so stressful.
It was
so
much
it's like
more-
you better heal.
Yeah, it was. Well, a lot of people were like court mandated to be there, but
Okay.
everyone was young, so it was. Yeah, it was definitely.
So you didn't have no picture frames or nothing, like
No
you didn't-
picture frames,
You
no,
didn't,
like-
you didn't make it a home at all.
I think we did have shoelaces, but
Okay.
like like when I was unpacking to be there, they like took my hand sanitizer
Wait, why?
because it has alcohol in it. So it was like they were
Oh.
fully like taking shit away from you.
Who? Wait, what?
People would, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think people like get desperate when they're
Yikes.
Also, have you ever seen like My Strange Addiction? Like people eat couches.
Yeah,
people eat
you're right.
diapers.
Yeah.
That one's the
Yeah.
most traumatizing
This one
the
woman
diapers.
drank bleach, like, because she thought it was tasty.
Did she die?
And paint thinner. No, she's not dead.
But she must be sipping on it, like
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's in a snifter glass.
Yeah,
it's not like
at
she's
the
not
end of
gulping
the day,
down.
she's having like a lovely little
Oh my
aperitif.
God. No way of bleach.
I
No
can't
way.
even believe like you can handle any bleach. I feel like you hear all these like horror stories from like the 1920s where people like drank
to kill
bleach
themselves?
or to give themselves abortions and would
Oh,
die.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This is too much.
Yep.
Too early.
I know,
guys.
God.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
getting so happy.
We're 2 minutes in.
We've got a whole episode to go.
Yeah.
by.
Okay, so what landed you, like, it was obviously your parents or
Yeah, my
what were you
parents.
doing?
So like in high school, I would just get alcohol poisoning. Like I got it my freshman year and my sophomore year. So
Uh-huh.
at that point, they were like, "You need to like go to rehab. Like you're literally drinking to the point that you're waking up in the hospital and you're 15."
Oh my God.
It was it was crazy. And then I went after rehab again my junior year back to the hospital. So it was
And
like
were you, like, did your friends think rehab was, like, a funny thing or...
kind of, yeah, and like
That's
I
how it
kind
was
of did
perceived
too.
when I was young. Like, I grew up in the city, obviously, and like I have a ton of friends who went to rehab, and it would always be like, our friends go to rehab.
Right. So like it was not the same where I grew up. Like
Okay.
no one else I knew had gone to rehab, and also I happened to go to rehab the same year that the like Amy Winehouse Rehab song came out. So anytime that came on,
Hilarious.
like the whole school, to kind of like point and laugh.
Oh my God. I just saw that documentary. And
I need to watch. I meant to watch it the other
It's
night.
so sad. It never
Ugh.
makes you want to date a man again.
No, you don't want to watch it. I
Really?
almost felt like I was going through a relapse again.
Oh my God.
It's very upsetting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's like I blame everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Legit.
Yeah, but I also didn't know she was as talented until I watched the documentary.
That's what
So-
everyone said. Yeah,
That's
like
crazy that
I
you didn't know
know.
that. I mean, her voice alone, like,
I know, but also like the talent of being able to push through like
Mm.
all of that struggle. Like I really thought a lot of it was like an act, kind of.
oh,
nah,
interesting.
sis, you saw how she did the eyeliner? That's real.
Yeah.
That's not a look. That's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's me for real.
But were you?
Oh yeah, and I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say too, like, so I went to rehab in like kind of like the mountain, like rural Pennsylvania, and so I told everyone that I was going to like Hershey Park, like the amusement park, just because I was like I'm missing a month of school,
Yeah.
and so then like it was definitely like a little bit of a joke. Like I had
Yeah.
a T-shirt that said like Hershey Park on the back after.
Because you have to make it a joke a little bit to like not be a freak.
Well, also, and then like within a month of coming back, I also like started drinking again, so I had to kind of make it a joke to
Right.
be able to like get back into the
Yeah,
drinking
and be
game.
social and
yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah. Were you sexually active before rehab?
Yes.
Okay. We can just go into this conversation because it's going to happen anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The first time you jizzed, do you remember?
I had sex for the first time when I was 15.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that was the first time you came?
I kind of think it was.
What?
Wait, so I had this weird thing when I was younger that I couldn't come.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's called delayed ejaculation, and I think it's kind of like similar to like vaginismus or something where you're like so
Scared?
anxious.
Yeah.
Or antidepressants can do it, and I was like
Yeah.
a Dwayne Reed full of antidepressants from like age 11.
Okay.
Or not coming just sounds like you're a woman.
I know.
Yeah, that's all it is.
It's interesting though because I don't think I've ever like men don't talk about it, but like I think it is fair. Like, have you guys ever have you had sex with a man who just wouldn't come?
Yeah, but it was like a boyfriend, and I felt like it was for another. He would always say it was for another reason. Like he was stressed.
Right.
I'm trying to think. I'm like, there's been times where like somebody hasn't been able to get it up or they haven't been able to come, but it's always been like drug or liquor induced.
Right.
Nothing
Do you
else.
remember your first time coming?
No, I actually don't. I feel like it was way later in life.
Were you a masturbator at all?
With the back massager? So I feel
Nice.
like I came with that. I think that my first time coming was actually with the Hashitashi.
The Hitachi
Yeah.
magic wand. I don't think anybody's brought it up yet on this podcast, but I know people are great fans of it. Chrissy Mayer, shout out.
It's pretty bad because then you're basing everything off of that.
And you get like a bit desensitized.
And it's like, come on, you got a jackhammer on your clit. Like,
Yeah,
that's not
How's
the
anybody
same.
going? People always ask me that about the womanizer. They're like, well, can a guy just suck your clit? I'm like, not the way this little vacuum can.
Man, the way this thing,
Yeah.
and it's like less than 3 minutes. No, less than 2 minutes. I legit can get it going in a minute.
Amazing.
Less than a minute. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
The thing is so powerful.
it's insane.
It's so great.
Yeah.
It's amazing, but also it's so bad for you.
How old were you when you got the Hitachi?
I want to say college.
Okay.
Yeah. I was definitely in college.
But you were hooking up with, like, you lost your virginity before that.
Yeah, before that, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. On a twin bed with one pillow.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they pushed the bed. He pushed 2 twin beds together to make a full size bed.
Oh, romance.
You had to like avoid the crack.
Yeah. It was definitely not romance. He had a
No, I'm
mixtape on, okay? Like that is, you do not fuck.
See, no one's ever made a mixtape for me
Oh, no, he didn't make this mixtape.
Oh.
This was a mixtape from the streets.
that he bought from someone.
Yes.
And then was
It
like, I'm just going to see how this goes.
It was like a Rockefeller, Memphis Bleak, Jay-Z, DJ Clue mixtape. So it was
Great.
It was terrible. I was like, this is not music to make love to.
There's no Brian Knight.
no. Oh, that would have been great.
Mick Knight?
McKnight, yeah.
Brian McKnight.
Brian
I was
McKnight.
listening to Jordan Knight earlier. Only one good song. Anyway. So you had banged, then you went to rehab.
Then I went to rehab, and then I kind of after rehab didn't really like bang again for the rest of high school. Mm-hmm. And then when I went to college, it was like kind of more like bang central.
And were you still drinking in college?
Yes,
Yeah.
for all of college.
Oh, right, because you're only 5 years so... Well, no, not you're only, but like
Yeah.
you're old. No, I'm just kidding. No. So you... Okay. And was...
Are you 25?
I'm 27.
27, okay.
And
So I
most...
stopped like immediately after leaving college.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Why
it.
do you think that is?
Honestly, I think like moving to New York and like I feel like in college everyone's kind of crazy and you're
Yeah.
like all like doing drugs and running around and you kind of like have the group to like pull you home. And once I was in New York, I was like I actually like truly felt like I was going to die if I kept drinking because
Yeah.
it's just like you can fall into the subway or like get hit by a car or like
And yet here and still, there's so many people that I'm like, you should be dead already.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
myself, and they're not. They're totally surviving.
yeah.
So that's what you think. It's like, it's pretty much college with more responsibilities and a lot of debt.
That's so true.
That's what it is.
Higher rents.
Yeah. It's like you can't have that kind of problem when you have all these bills because you will be homeless.
Right.
And college is not the same.
Totally.
Yeah.
But
you
I
have
feel
your,
like you were
dorm.
very functional for a very long time.
Oh, girl, yes. I mean,
Sydney has an entire one-woman show called Death of a Bottle Girl.
I know I saw that. I want to come. Because
Yeah.
you're doing it soon, right?
Yes, I might have to postpone it because of something. But yeah, I've done it like 4 times already. And I mean, I was waitressing for 10 years and I was blackout like 90% of
Yeah.
it. So the fact that anybody received a drink, got their check, and it was right.
Is crazy.
It's
And the fact that
nuts.
she always, her hair always looks right. Her dress was like, she's on point all the time. What?
At work. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I came to see you at, what was it? Gramercy Park?
Oh, yeah, you did.
And you looked perfect.
Oh, girl, you came early.
I
You
did.
not- I mean, after midnight, it's like gremlin status. It's
Yeah.
like totally Furby baby.
But I feel like, okay, so I don't drink really because I'm allergic to alcohol.
Good for you.
Basically. I mean, it's
Wow.
not good for, it's just, I didn't realize it like in college and high school because like you drink, like that's what people do and they throw up. Like it wasn't like you wouldn't be the only person going to the hospital of my friends. Like it was like everybody was. So I was just like, oh, this is normal and cool and deal with it. And it wasn't until I started doing stand up where there were other people who I really respect and see as normal who are sober, not drinking people that I was like, oh, maybe I cannot drink and not be labeled a freak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, whereas a lot of people are like, oh, it's so difficult to go into stand-up because everyone's drinking and doing drugs all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Do you feel like you are more comforted by other sober stand-ups?
No. Every time I see somebody else sober, I'm like, I know you in hell right now.
Yeah.
You're having a hard ass time. Like, I see it in your face. Like, you're sober and you can hear everything. And you just critique things more because you're dead inside. So you hear a joke and you're like, actually, that's not a joke. But whatever. You know, when you're drinking and having fun and the audience is drinking, everything just feels so fun and so funny. And like lights and just no pressure.
Yeah.
But I feel like sober people have a real mission. They have a goal.
Yeah, wait, so Sydnee, when you started stand-up, were you drinking?
Oh, hell yes.
Oh, so you've like had the transition within your like performance life. That's so interesting.
I remember just like doing bringer shows and having like a couple of shots of Patron and it's like nothing. It just gave me the courage. And then I had an open mic that I was running and I would be there at 3:00 and I'm drinking a beer at 3:30, 4 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, it's not a big deal. Like people have a drink men here. So it's not an issue, but it's like, actually it's Wednesday and there's no reason to drink at all.
What was your turning point?
Honestly, if I wouldn't have lost my job at this bitch ass club called Riff Raffs, I probably would have never got
You were
into it.
working at Riff Raffs?
Oh yeah, I was there when it started.
That's one of the
right?
places
Yeah.
that sent all my friends to rehab.
Yeah. No. Oh, absolutely,
That's
honey.
insane.
I probably pushed all of those people on the edge. I
Yeah.
probably was the one like handing out shots, telling people to get more fucked up, upselling like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I feel like so many people have like pictures at Riff Raffs when they're like 12.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We were like king of underage partying.
Yeah.
Like who else is going to be like an adult with tribal face paint and like a we had those big group
Fish bowls. Yeah.
And it's like, what adult is spending
needs that?
$450?
Like the adults there were pedophiles.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Or the finance dudes that don't even know what cool is.
Right. When you started having sober sex, was it weird?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything is weird. Honestly, just conversations, just eye contact.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre.
Yeah.
And it's too much.
I hate this right now.
I have anxiety all the time. I'm always like, I don't want to say too much because I have diarrhea of the mouth.
Yeah.
And before, when I had diarrhea of the mouth, I'm like, I'm wasted, I'm fun, and I'm witty, and like, I'm a comedian. And it just made sense. It's like, no, you're a regular ass person and you think you're funny and you're sober. And this other person is like, I'm sober too.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Yeah, I remember like I used to kind of feel like I had almost like a split personality between like my sober and drunk self. And so like I felt like I kind of just totally conflated my like sexual self with my drunk self and just didn't really think of my like my sober self. I was like, whatever, I'm like kind of awkward or yada yada.
Yeah.
All the way.
And then so it was so weird to then like start sober dating and be like, oh my God, like you can't just like troll your way into sex. Like you have to like actually like kind of believe that you're like sexy or whatever, which is like
ew, I have confidence
still working on
in
that.
me.
I know.
You realize that people are so corny. So you're not alone.
That's true.
But then you also are like, oh, you're corny. Why would I fucking talk to you?
I know. And also, I mean, like even the physical, I feel like sometimes I try to explain to my friends, like I remember when I would drink, I would, you know, you'd kind of just like have sex with somebody or like give someone a blowjob. Yeah, you feel really horny.
You're like, yes, let's go. I'm ready.
And now sometimes like if I go on a date and it's like kind of like a slutty date or whatever and it winds up like progressing and I like give someone head or whatever the next day, sometimes I'm like, I feel nauseous thinking about that.
Because you remember the whole thing.
I'm like, and you can like smell a dick. You know what I mean? Where like when you're
It's terrible, okay? It's just like being hungover is so beautiful because you're partially alive but like unconscious as well. So you don't even know what the hell went on. You don't even know how you got in your place. And you're like, I'm here. There might be throw up. on the floor. Who knows?
And if there is, that's just a funnier story for my friends.
Yeah.
Right, and you're so focused on like the headache or whatever that you don't really have time to be like, oh, why did I say that or whatever. Or like even recently, like I kind of like hit on this guy and I was like, thought that we were like had a thing going and he was like, let's stay friends. And then I know I got played.
Sober, you heard that?
Yeah.
That hurt my heart.
I know, I was shook. But the next day I was like, no, I literally texted him because he texted me the like, let's stay friends. And I was like, this is kind of awkward because like a few years ago I'd have been like, oops, drank too much, like didn't mean it. Where I was like, now
you can't blame anybody.
No,
You're
I
like,
literally
that
was like,
still me.
I was like, no, the moon is like in Mercury.
The
like,
Mercury's
that
in
wasn't
retrograde.
Me. Yeah.
You're like, I'm just a Gemini. That wasn't even.
That's
Yeah,
I blame
was like-
all of my
I was
negative
like, I got
qualities
like
on being
shocked
a Virgo.
by a lamp last night. Like that wasn't my real self.
Wow. Let's
I was
just
like, I
stay
hit my head,
friends.
or else I would have never tried to kiss you. Like,
You know, like what happened to Mel Gibson and What Women Want. Like that's what happened to me. Except for then I texted you.
Mel Gibson.
Hilarious.
Have you ever been on a date and told somebody you're sober and they immediately judge you for it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember the first one I went on. Like, I was with this guy who was like a little bit older, and it was like right when I got to New York and right when dating apps were like starting to be normal.
Yeah.
And like I'd just broken up with my ex-boyfriend, which was like a serious relationship, so I'd like never really like dated.
Mm-hmm.
And I went on this date with this older guy, and he started like older. He was probably like 30 and I was like 22, but he started like ordering drinks, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like have a Diet Coke, but I hadn't like given the
I'm sober, that's why.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he was just like such a dick about it, and like so it was just like he was hostile.
Ooh.
It was really strange.
Well, that was a him thing. It was like, oh wow, you're gonna get to see the real me. That's
Yeah.
scary, and that's why it's such a social thing. It's like, I'm drinking, you drink, and it's not a big deal, and we're doing it together.
It's
and
such a like be a part of this.
yeah. This is like a group thing, and it's just
Yeah.
like. I hate when people say, oh, I'm not an alcoholic, I don't drink by myself. And it's like, but you are an alcoholic. You are drinking for the whole table. Like, yeah, we had a couple drinks, but you had the whole bottle. So
Yeah.
honestly, you're no better than anybody drinking a bottle of Pinot Grigio in the house.
Yeah, no, and there's also some people that I'm like, okay, granted, you're not an alcoholic. There are some people who are not an alcoholic, but you have a drinking problem.
Totally.
You become a problem when you drink.
Totally.
What was I going to say before? I'm not even high. Imagine if I was high.
I mean, you would just be you. So.
No, I don't feel like myself right now.
Oh,
And,
interesting.
And that feels really weird and addicty. Shrug, look to the sky.
It could be our energy too.
No.
We're like the Power Rangers of alcoholism. You know?
Yeah.
Like we power up our like sober powers and make you feel strange.
fucking weird.
And you're just now like sober today. Are
Yeah.
you going to keep this going?
No, I have a joint prepared for right after we
All
wrap.
right, girl. That's another fucking thing. I'm so tired of people calling me, yeah, I think I'm going to stop drinking.
But I'm going to keep
Don't-
smoking.
Oh my
Listen,
God.
don't hit me with your I might, I think. I don't want to go down this path with you because I don't want to be invested in like a new sober pal.
Yeah.
Or actually, I'm like, honestly, I don't want to go through this sobriety journey with you.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
already going through my own journey. So honestly, either you go in or you out. And honestly, don't tell me about either.
There
Like,
was you actually made me really understand a lot about sobriety. Remember when we were at Standing Room and
Yes.
one of my friends was relapsing
Yes.
and I was like freaking out because I was like I don't really know what to do for her. She's been to rehab like a ton of times. I can see her like get that look in her eye and like start to whatever.
That
So I
Dorinda?
Yeah, that Dorinda. She started to go Dorinda.
Don't you say that, Luann. Clap.
I'm not. I'm not the one that got a mugshot for it. So
I've been there for you. I'm your friend. I've been there.
her hair looks so good at the reunion, though.
I'm not even going to talk about it.
She gave me 2 cigarettes once.
She did?
Yeah, we were at the same shoe guy, and I was like, "Hey, Dorinda, can I get a cigarette?" And she was like, "Take one for later." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." She's like, and I was like, "I shouldn't even be smoking." She's like, "Everything in moderation." That's what my generation says.
Right.
And then this season came out, but.
Oh, the not wanting to go on like a sober journey with someone
Oh,
else.
right.
And your
Yeah,
friend
no.
relapsed.
So my friend
relapsing.
is relapsing at the bar, and I go up to Sydney, and I was like, "What do I do?" And she's like, "There's nothing you can do. Also, I'm relapsing right now too, so I
Yeah.
cannot be bothered." And
It
I was
was a
just like,
lot.
and what can I do for you? And she's like, nothing. You have
Right.
to let me go through my like motions and like, that's it.
No, that's so true. And I feel like people don't understand that. And like, I feel like a lot of times since I like write about it and talk about it, people will be like, can we go to coffee? And it's like a 2-hour like Dr. Phil, like tell all. And I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do, but I think they want people who are already sober to be like, oh, this is what you need to do. Like, I'll kind of do it for you.
Yeah.
And it's like, and the weird thing too is sometimes
But you can't do it for someone
No,
else.
and it can also be like triggering. Like when someone else is like in your face, like talking about all these things, I'm like, I like have to like separate myself from it a little sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh no, you have to put up a wall, and it's almost like I can't even be here. I have to go.
Yeah.
I've left. I've Irish exit. So many things. I
Me
just won't
too.
even say bye.
Yeah.
I'm out. And I'll be so weird because I'll get my things and I'm like, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I can't even, like, because she was telling me that when she was in rehab, they would do a thing called swapping war stories. And I'm sure that you guys did that too. And I was thinking, like, as a person who tells stories, like, or as a creative, you write stories, you tell stories, like, how are you not going to want to top those stories?
Right.
You know, like, I'd be like,
Oh, as an artist.
Yeah.
You're totally a comedian. That's the comedian in you. But
Yeah.
when you're in a fucking meeting and you hear a story, you're like, oh, bitch, you got that. That's
That's you.
that's yours. You won today. I'm good. I actually never want to get that high.
Yeah.
On a scoreboard. No, thank you.
No, that's so true though. But also, and I remember like I was obviously like 16 when I was in rehab, but I remember like the day I was leaving, this boy like cornering me in the bathroom and being like, promise me you'll like try ecstasy. Like people were just like out here. I was like, are you like planted here by like the ecstasy industry? Like I was like, you deserve a huge cut of commission. But then like I remember like then I left and I was like, I kind of want to try ecstasy now. Like
Because that kid put it in your brain. Oh, that's so
that is
annoying.
I think that's a weird thing, especially about like sending kids and teenagers to like rehab, is that if they don't actually want to be there, I think it can like really exacerbate issues. Because I think a lot of
Right.
times like when an adult goes, if they're choosing to go, then they're not going to be like, oh hell yeah, like you should smoke crack or whatever. But like when it's a teenager, like they're like out here like advocating for their drug of choice instead of being
Yeah.
like, don't do it.
I personally think you gotta let people run their course. Like young, when they're young, it doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna be a habit. Because there was like mad things that I did before college, and I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. You know, you just run its course. Like I did ketamine. There was a time where I was like, every weekend I was gonna do some ketamine, and then eventually I was like, actually, this drug is terrible, and I feel awful.
Yeah.
Like worse than I do when I'm doing everything else. So yeah, I'm gonna wean myself off of this.
Yeah.
That's so true. Like, I feel like before I stopped drinking, I'd slowly, like, I was addicted to Xanax and I stopped doing that. And I, like, did Coke way too much and I stopped doing that. And I would do ecstasy too much and I stopped doing that. And that's why, like, I knew that alcohol was, like, the thing I loved the most. Because I
Yes.
just always, like,
safe
kept
space.
that.
Yeah.
Like, I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, I'll stop, like, snorting Ambien, but I'm going to, like, but
Yeah.
drinking is fine, even though drinking is why I would literally, like, go to the hospital.
Right.
Or, like, you know, coat my room and vomit.
Yes. But that's why it's like, what is sobriety? Sobriety is you cut everything out. That's how I feel. I feel like if you do one thing, you can open the door to something else.
Yeah,
How do you deal with it in your relationship? Like, because I can't imagine like being someone's girlfriend and having to watch them run its. Do you know what I mean?
She doesn't drink.
She doesn't drink either.
Yeah.
Oh,
She
okay.
just smokes. And
Okay.
she cut down a lot.
Okay.
Like so much.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I
that
was-
works.
I was going to ask you, Sydnee, like when you stopped drinking, did you feel like you started doing other behaviors that weren't like chemical, like more sex or like
I am
shopping?
so into Red Bull. It's so bad.
Yep.
I'm like into sweets a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I cut back a lot on sweets, but Red Bull was legit. I was like, dude, I'm gonna die of Red Bull. I have like 2 a night, and it would get me wired. And I'm like, ooh, I feel freaking almost like high or drunk. And then the next day I would feel hungover because it's just too
The
much
sugar.
it's too much caffeine.
And you're
It's
so
bad.
dehydrated.
Yeah, you pick up so many things. But the only thing I didn't pick up is a sexual appetite. That's the only thing that was like, yeah, not on the menu. So sorry.
But you guys have a good sex life.
You
No?
know, I feel like
Is it all rollerblading and getting along?
Oh man, that's hilarious.
They rollerblade and it makes me want to. I'm
Yeah.
like,
So
I want a
cute.
girlfriend and I want to go rollerblading with her.
It's so gay. Yeah, it's like one of those situations where I mean, I can't say too much because I need to be more respectful.
Yes.
But yeah, I feel like since sobriety, my whole gene is gone.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think about hooking up with randoms. I couldn't even think about randomly going. I could not think about being single and having to hook up with a new person.
Yeah.
I would legit have a panic attack.
Yeah.
I could not.
Yeah, I feel like my sex life is so different. Like, I haven't had penetrative sex since 2014 because I feel like in sobriety, I'm much more able to be like, I don't want to do that with this person. And I think that until I'm dating somebody, I won't really want to.
But that's a very valid, great
yeah, and anal sex is such a production.
It's such a production, and you have to breathe, and you have to really be comfortable.
Yeah.
And, like, if you're not, and you're not drunk,
yeah.
like, there's nothing to loosen you up. You don't need to put yourself through that.
Shane, you haven't had a dick since 2014?
No, I just haven't had a dick inside
Penetrative
me.
sex. So you'll do blowies.
Blowies, but honestly, like, I'm a huge advocate of, like, hand jobs. Like, I feel like so many people don't like them.
I think they got a really bad rap.
Me too.
Early on.
It's because of women. Like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
See, that's what people would say. They'd be like, "Oh, I can just give myself a hand job." Girls don't know. Tell us what you like.
Right.
Also, I love playing with like, I think I know what you like because I would just do what I would like.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, you don't even have a dick. So, Seamus, tell us about hand jobs and how lovely they
Yeah,
are.
and maybe like, and also I might be biased because I'm only exchanging hand jobs with other people with dicks, so they like kind of get it. But I don't know. Like, I feel like I really do. Like, that's like my number one like sexual act is just kind of like, you know, like making out with somebody and like exchanging hand jobs. And I think as somebody who's like
exchanging hand jobs,
and I'm like so.
It sounds like a business.
Yeah.
I know it's so transactional.
mergers,
Exchange.
acquisitions, and hand jobs.
It's like the hand job inflation rate.
Yeah.
But like I'm not that good at dating, so I'm never like consistently dating people. So I'm like not really like trying to have that many like strange dicks in my mouth, basically.
Yeah, because
And I'm trying to have 0 strange dicks and
So gross.
in my
It's
rectum.
not so gross, but it just feels like I will replay some of the people I hooked up with, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You were going through so much, like such a hard time because there's no way, like, you could see that picture of that person and be like, that person was fucking me on a regular without a condom?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sober and I can't even think about a dick in my mouth.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Like,
But
literally.
it's been quite some time since you've had a dick.
Oh,
in your
hell
mouth.
yeah. 5 years, man.
Yeah.
5 years. Like, sobriety.
Well, you're 5 years. No, you're not 5 years
5
sober, but
no, not 5 years sober.
5 years
5 years
dick
sober
free.
off dick. Yeah.
Yes, I stopped hooking up with dudes before I met my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And by stopped, it was kind of like, well, the person I liked didn't like me, so we're gonna take a break on this. And then I met my girlfriend a year later, and yeah, I haven't had
Was
that. But
that
as soon
an
as I got,
interesting learning process? Because I
Yeah.
always wonder.
I don't be doing it right.
You don't think?
But when I met her, I was drinking, and so I was like, "Oh, I'm literally the best." And she was like, "Absolutely not." And it was just great to
Yeah.
hear that, because
Put you in your place.
people are so dishonest during sex.
They're so dishonest.
You-
I was very dishonest.
You guys
until
are
this
Me too.
all
podcast.
fucking liars.
Yeah.
Okay. And every time a friend tells me sex was amazing, I'm like, bitch, you didn't even know where you were.
Yeah.
Were you on the west side or the east side?
Yeah.
Do you love him? Because if you love him, love totally changes the whole chemistry of sex.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody tells me they had great sex, I'm like, okay, let's do this. If you had all the lights on, if you had no liquor, no weed, no nothing, real eye contact.
Yeah.
Tell me if it was good. And they're like, well, that's just weird. Exactly.
Yeah.
If we can do all of that and the sex is still popping,
Then the sex is actually good.
it's great.
I posted, like, I do Instagram polls for the podcast all the time. And I posted one being like, do you think you could date somebody sober? And my friend wrote me and she was like, oh my God, I'm sober. Like, how could you say something like that? Like, as if it was like, could you date somebody with one eye or something, you know, like.
But even if, can you date somebody? Yeah, bitch, we got preferences. You can't
Right.
shame
Yeah.
anybody. Like, it's hard. I know as a sober person, it's hard. And somebody might not, that might not be anybody's preference.
Right.
So
Some people like really love drinking, and that's an
Yeah.
important part of their identity and their lifestyle. And like, if they felt like somebody was constantly like aware of how much
Yeah.
they were drinking that might stress them out, and it's also
Yeah.
valid to ask it the other way around. Like to a sober person, could they date somebody who's not sober?
Exactly. Well,
No.
that's why I had posed the question, because at the time my friend was dating a guy who needed to be sober. Like I was like, he needs to go to rehab, and you need to like help him on this journey. And she would be all for it, and then she'd be like, "Oh, but I just can't date somebody who's not going to drink." And I'm like, "Well, then you can't date somebody sober,
Right.
Like you have to break it off."
Yeah, definitely.
People already feel judged in relationships, and like you're already seeing us naked. Like you don't have to.
Girl, that's not even the real deal. Who cares about what the body look like? Do you know how fucked up we are in the inside? Like, if you just cut open the body, whoo, wow, there's a lot of ash in there. So much ash.
And another thing too that I've had, like going back to the people judging or acting weird, I was dating this guy like not very seriously but enough, and he was so freaked out by the sobriety thing, and he would like project it, like he'd be like, "I can't believe we're hooking up sober, like do you care if I drink right now?" And I was like, "No, I guess not," but I didn't really think about it. And then I would like,
well, can you do that? Can you make out with somebody who's
I didn't think about it, and I was
about
about to ask you that too, like if you've had this.
No.
And I like started to make out with him, and I was like, I actually feel like I have like wine
Relapsed.
in my
Yeah,
mouth.
Yeah, you can't.
Right, because it's like still in there. Like I was like, I actually feel like in this way that I did.
Yeah,
that it was like almost a relapse, like it.
but not intentional.
Right.
But it's like I
was
cheated
dark.
and something. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, because before that I'd been like, I don't want to date someone sober. Like I want to like keep the same lifestyle I used to have, but like as a sober person. Then I was like, no, that's disgusting. Like it felt disgusting.
Yeah.
You can't move forward if you're still like doing the past. And so even me, I've not lost, but just transitioned out of friends.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's just like I can't make it to any of these events. I just can't.
Yeah.
Honey, you literally have a plate of cocaine there. I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll push myself to be like, I need to see my friends. And then you reevaluate it. It's like, do your friends need to see you? Because if they
Right.
needed to
Right.
see you, they would put that plate in the bathroom
Right.
like all the other cokeheads.
Yeah.
So like you wouldn't just have it out in the living room
Yeah.
for me to see.
No, and I know so many of my friends who need to be sober that like they're the life of the party, and that's why their friends are friends with them, because they know that this one's going to be entertaining and he's going to lose his shit and he's going to, like do all that stuff, and then like, okay, well maybe you need new friends.
Right.
If-
Yeah, like people will ask me sometimes if they're thinking about becoming sober. They're like, but do you still have the same friends? Do you like still do the same things? And I'm like, no, but like that's probably good. Like if you
better
are
for
worried
me.
about,
Yeah.
if you feel like you need to get sober, and then one of the hangups for you is like, will my friends still be my friends? Then that means your friendship is literally basically built on like getting fucked up. Like if you aren't
and there are people that are party friends.
Totally,
It's
and
not like a derogatory term. I
No,
have party friends.
It's like Hollywood friends, Yolanda.
Yes.
Who's Yolanda?
Real
You don't
Housewives of
watch
Beverly
Beverly
Hills.
Hills?
Oh no, I do not watch that trash.
Okay, we
How
only cover
dare
New
you?
York.
Only New York, okay, and Potomac.
Oh, I just started Dallas season
And
3.
Atlanta.
It's Atlanta's the best.
So good.
Yeah.
It's the queen of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you just
No, Beverly Hills is the best. I'm sorry. You need to watch it. I don't know.
not.
Atlanta's
I
great, but
refuse.
Beverly Hills is the best.
their faces. There's too much plastic surgery going on in Beverly Hills. It's just
I love
it's
it.
obnoxious. I can't pay attention to the content if I'm looking.
You have
at
to really listen to see if they're fighting because their faces don't move. While we're talking surgery,
Yeah.
can we talk about your boobies?
Yes.
Okay, when did you get those?
It's 5 years ago, maybe some more.
Did you have to be sober for surgery?
Ooh, you know your girl skated on that. Skated like ooh, because this is like I was still like waitressing,
Yeah.
and I think I waitressed the night before my surgery.
Oh God.
And I definitely had drinks.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna do coke, but I definitely drank.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna have 8 shots. I'm gonna have 3 shots. It was so reckless.
Yeah.
It was so.
See, I always think about
Foolish.
getting surgeries just so I have to get off pot for a little bit. I'm like, just
No,
just
I
schedule
feel like-
another nose job and I won't smoke.
I feel like after you finish and you calm it down for a couple days, you're gonna get right back into the groove.
100%.
There's people who totally
It's
get
like crash dieting.
yeah, they totally get their surgery, and then before you know it, they got a little Pinot Grigio with their perk, and their shit's not healing properly, clearly, but they don't see it until they're like 6 months later. How come my boobs haven't settled? Because the liquor is literally hardening them.
Yeah. Do you feel more comfortable in your skin with them?
No. I'm still like
Really?
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's just like you got to work on yourself before you get plastic surgery. You have to be already like, I am the baddest bitch, and this is literally like a pocketbook. This is just adding to the outfit. It's not the outfit.
So if my fat arms get chopped off, I won't immediately love Remy.
I mean, no, definitely
No.
not.
Okay.
Because your arms are fine.
No, they're fat as fuck. I could fly away. I'm Dumbo. It's crazy. I like my grandma and I have the same arms.
But I look at you in pictures and I'm not like, oh my God, Remy, take those arms off, you know?
Yeah, I know, but
If somebody has like a
it's called Facetune.
No. If somebody has a concave chest, like you can see that.
You can see that, yeah.
But arms, like you can position it in a way where, you know, a long sleeve. Okay?
Yeah,
Or-
long sleeve is my best friend.
Isn't there like a skinny arm?
There is a skinny arm, but everybody knows the trick now.
Oh.
What's that?
It's just you pop your shoulder and put your hand on your hip.
I hate that. It looks so pageant.
It looks so stupid.
So trash.
It's so like sorority.
All of my pictures from college are me standing in my kitchen in a dress with my hand on my hip. Like, what are you doing?
It's like, I'm a woman. Don't you see me in?
with all of my friends, and we all have
Yeah.
our head tilted.
Oh my
the
God.
same
Yeah.
way.
What was a head tilt for? Was that like a neck thing?
I think it was like, well, I don't know. You do
It's
it for the better side.
patriarchy.
It's the
holding us-
patriarchy.
holding us down. Like,
I'm
at a
sorry, you
tilt.
guys.
It's exactly your fault.
Yeah.
Only your fault.
Yeah. So plastic surgery is stupid. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're in dying need of it, I guess. But it's so dumb because women need to just love themselves for real, for real.
Yeah.
For real. We're just off the hinges with the stuff that we're doing right now. It's absurd. They're finding anything and everything to fill.
You know Ariel Elias?
Yes.
She was on an episode a few weeks ago, and she has a joke that she does during stand-up, which is like, she's like, yeah, I have body dysmorphia, which is this disease you have when you're a woman.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, we all do. We all think we're like disgusting. Do you feel disgusting?
Yeah, I feel like the gay community kind of has that too.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it's like, I mean, I don't know if like you felt this too, but it's interesting when you can like compare your body to the person you're sleeping with, like in a way that's different from like a cross.
Yeah, no, I can say,
comparison or
oh, Ben,
whatever.
you're so much more
Yep.
handsome than me. He could say, no, you're the beautiful one, but you're literally standing with another dick, and you're
Right.
standing with another pair of tits and another Jodge, and like
Gosh.
just in direct comparison.
Right, like you can literally be like whose dick is bigger or like who has a better,
Who kept harder longer?
Right.
Who's got a shootier stream?
who's taller. Yeah, like all that shit, which is, yeah, it's dark.
sucks.
But and like I think all of the like eating disorders and like plastic surgery and body dysmorphia are like super high in the gay community as well.
And it's like, we can't share clothes anymore because you gained 16 pounds.
I know.
I never
yeah.
even thought of that.
No, like I used to share clothes with my ex-boyfriend, and then I feel like if I gained weight, I'd be like, oh my God, I can't fit into his pants anymore.
Because you guys are just being like obnoxious. It's like just a little inch. It's a little. Me and my girlfriend are not the same size, but somehow we manage to wear each other's clothes and shoes.
She's
we
taller
make it
than
work.
you, right?
Yes, she's
Yeah.
taller than me. She has a way bigger butt, hips. I have boobs. She doesn't, but she wears my shirts. It's like the same. It's fine.
Yeah.
I remember I'd like wear my ex-boyfriend's shoes, and his feet were so much smaller, and it would literally be like a bound feet moment. Like it would just be like under toes, like ingrown toenails. Like it was painful.
That's me, yo.
But he had way better shoes, so I was like, I've got to do it.
Do it for the Ferragamo.
Yeah,
It
literally,
is.
Got to get in the Tods.
What was I gonna ask you? Do you have any like positive notes to talk about like sober sex or sobriety? Because I'm just super jaded. I think it's the New Yorker / the depression / comedy that's making me not see the good in what I'm actually doing. But I feel like it can
Of
come
what
from
part?
you.
And your relationship or your sobriety?
No, just sobriety. Just
Yeah,
like,
okay.
Once you make that move. I mean, I don't go to meetings.
You don't?
No, because I honestly think those stories are
Trigger
triggering
you.
for me.
I don't go to meetings either.
I listen to the meetings and then I'm thinking about these people that I don't know that well, and I can't sleep at night because I'm like, well, fuck, is he okay? Like,
Yeah.
which is great about the community because
Yeah.
it literally you cannot hold other people accountable unless you're sober.
Yeah.
It's just that's what it is. Like you will only care if there's something in it.
How did you do it then?
I did go to the meetings in the beginning to help like jumpstart it, and then eventually I was like, I can't do this. And when I had my relapse, I went back to meetings and got me back on track.
And do you get like a sponsor in those times?
No, I have never had a sponsor.
Okay. Never, Seamus?
No.
I think that's why I'm so dark.
Because you're all in your head.
I know sometimes I'm like, should I try AA just to like see if I like it? But I think I have a negative connotation with it because of like the high school thing. And like I was forced to go in high school, and then I felt so punitive that I still sometimes feel that way. And like one thing that I think AA is like great and does help so many people, but sometimes I find like it's so strict, and they're kind of like, this is the way you do it, and I think that makes a lot of people like feel sometimes bad about themselves if they're doing it differently.
It's religious too, isn't it? Like you have to.
Yeah, like there is like the higher power thing, and I think they would say it's not religious because
they just say higher power. So
just anything,
higher power. Anything can be.
So if you believe in like anything,
anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you could be your microwave if you, is your God, and they're like, okay, as long as your God is not drinking, you're good.
Right, or you can be like, like being nice to other people or whatever
is your higher power.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say that could be a deterrent for a lot of people that are just like, well, I don't want to give it up to God. Like I don't believe that that person's there.
Yeah, and I think some people, even if they say you can kind of have it be whatever, I think you can tell what people's is. So like if you're in the room, you can be like, oh, that person is like literally referring to like higher power as God.
Yeah.
Where like other people might not be.
Housewives. That's my higher power.
Yeah.
Dorinda is my God.
Yeah.
Sonia T. Morgan is my
Just
higher
her
power.
slurring moderation. Everything's moderation.
Yeah, Dorinda's like definitely like
my
single-handedly responsible for a lot of relapses with that moderation shit.
Yeah.
Well, this season was trash because I know what Luann was trying to do, and just putting that on camera is so hard because it's like, how could you be in that environment?
Yeah.
In your beginning of your sobriety, I personally think you can't.
Right. Well, that's like, I know you don't watch Beverly Hills, but like Kim Richards on that season.
That chick.
I thought like literally it felt like you were watching her like die.
Yeah.
Like I was like, she's going to die like on camera. Like Bravo is going to let her kill herself on camera.
Yeah.
Like Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild, but at the same time, it's like, I'm happy to see it sometimes because you can see how bad it can get.
Totally.
And it's definitely like, it's taken a turn from like, drinking is so great and whatever. Like people really respect sobriety now, I think, for the most part.
Do they? Not so much.
But I don't know, actually. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think I know what you mean. But it's interesting because people do respect it, but I think they like respect it a lot more in like how they're like, that's amazing, blah, blah, blah. But then sometimes they still kind of like make you feel weird for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, I love that you're sober, like yada, yada. And now I'm going to like binge drink in front of you. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. It's kind of more of a like, oh, wow, you're doing this.
Yeah.
This, I can't believe that you're doing. It's kind of like when you see an astronaut, you're like, oh wow, you went to the fucking moon. That's crazy. Do I want to go to the moon? No, I don't.
Yeah,
but good for you.
Right. And not to like sound bitter, but like back to your point earlier about like, sometimes I get frustrated when people are like sober January, like hell yeah, and they're like making it like a fun thing, because I think for a lot of people I'm like, it kind of is, not to be like dramatic, but it's like a matter of life or death.
100%.
Like I'm like, I really think if I started drinking again, like I would die. Because another thing that like when I would drink, I would get suicidal. So I'm like, whether it was like falling into the subway or like I would just take like handfuls of pills because I'd be like, I want to go to sleep, or I'd get into a fight with somebody and do that. So for me, I'm like, and for a lot of people, I'm like, it really is like death. And you see people all the time who like, whether it's celebrities or even just people in your life who die from like, you know, drinking with Xanax, and like maybe it wasn't even intentionally suicidal, but just like mixing that
is dangerous.
Is so scary. So I think sometimes it's frustrating when I like will have friends who are like, I'm sober, then I'm like, I saw you drink. Like they say it as like a fashionable thing.
See, that's why I said I think people respect it, because sometimes when I say, oh, I don't drink, like if somebody offers me something, like just to shut it down, I'm like, I don't drink or whatever. And I've had people be like, but you're not sober. Okay. Like, don't pretend you're sober. Like as if it, like, yeah, I'm not sober. I'm not an alcoholic. But I don't drink. So I don't know. It just makes me feel like, well, being sober is very cool, and you're just a loser who decided not to drink.
No, I think people people are always projecting. They're always projecting. Me saying that I'm sober has nothing to do with you if you're not sober. I'm not talking about you, girl. It's not about you. It's about me.
Yeah.
And if I feel like your lifestyle is going to affect mine, I'll let you know. Or you won't get a phone call from me.
Yeah.
Or I just won't be hanging out with you. So, like, you thinking that me saying that, oh, I don't drink, I'm saying I'm better than you. I'm not.
No.
I'm just saying I can't.
Right.
Okay? I am the Michael Jordan of alcoholism.
Yeah.
I did that. Gotta retire. Now I hung up my jersey. I'm not going back. I can't.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that's just, people are just so weird, you know?
Yeah.
And I never want to, I don't even tell people if you got a problem. You got a problem, you got to figure that out.
Totally.
No,
If you ask me about the problem,
Yeah.
I'll be honest. But I've had somebody who's literally was like, yeah, I know you're sober. Like, I don't have a problem. And I'm like, girl, yes, you do.
If you
For
say that,
saying
you
But
do.
I
Yeah.
won't say that. She's like, it's not like I'm waking up drinking. It's not like it's like, stop saying that.
Yeah.
Stop saying that, oh, we drink by ourselves. We're in some alleyway doing crack and sucking dick. Like, that's not what that's not what an addiction is.
Yeah.
It could be literally anything.
Yeah.
If you feel dependent on it, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you feel like you can't hang out with these people until you take a glass of Jameson or a bump of Coke, that is a problem.
Right.
No, totally. Because I feel like I don't know how yours like manifested, but like beyond the like binging and like going into, you know, the really dramatic ones that I already referenced, it was just kind of this cycle of being like, I'm really anxious, therefore I'm going to drink to like not be anxious anymore.
Yeah,
then getting
yeah.
like fucked up, then the next day being like, I'm really anxious again, therefore I'm going to drink to not be anxious again. And then all of a sudden it's just like every day. But that does mean I was like waking up and like putting like an IV into my nose of vodka. It was like at 4 p.m. I was like, okay, I can't function. I'm like feeling shitty.
Right.
And then I would just kind of like succumb to that.
Yeah.
How did mine happen? Free liquor and drugs. That's all how it always
Yeah.
starts. That's how I knew I had a
Yes.
problem when I was like, oh no, I'll pay for this. Bitch, what?
Yeah.
Are you getting top shelf tequila? Did you just spend $18 on a cocktail? You have a issues.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. If you were getting it for free and then you were going out of your way to be like, no. I'm going to go out and drink on my own. I don't need the free stuff. It's like, what?
Yeah. You guys, I have to ask this at the end of every sexual encounter. Sydney, did you finish?
No.
God damn it. Well,
It's
we'll
okay.
work on it.
I just want y'all to know I'm mad fun, okay? I don't know if I was that fun on this podcast, but honestly, I am a ray of light. I am a national treasure. And
All true.
And I don't know if I projected that today.
It's because I'm sober, so you feel weird.
No. It's my day. But on the podcast, The Unofficial Expert, you get to hear sometimes the way I talk, you're like, I was there. I'm very descriptive in my messiness.
I agree.
But it's The Unofficial Expert, and my handle on Instagram is Just Sid BW, JUST SYD BW, and on Twitter it's Just Sid NYC because Just Sid was taken from somebody else.
Bitch. Okay, so this is part 2.
Dun, dun,
Hooray.
dun.
I have smoked in this part. I feel better. Britt, I'm so happy that you're here. You wrote me like really early on in the podcast being like, maybe there's just some weird shit you need to tap into. Like,
Totally.
I mean,
I think everything is childhood related. And I also think like that it has a lot to do with like all the shit that's locked back there. Like once you just start to like get I mean, it's also a lot to do with sobriety. Like once you unlock that shame aspect of things.
yeah,
you can
no, I
open
mean, I
up.
think the shame aspect is what I was like, I need to start trying to do this.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know. So yesterday we were all talking about how like not non-sexy, but kind of asexual one can become. But we were just talking about how like not having non-penetrative sex can still be very sexy and fun.
It can be so much fun. And I think I started to talk about this a little bit yesterday, but especially with like gay anal sex, it is just like
It's
a
a
full
production.
But so for me, I'm just like, I feel like there's so many steps that I'd rather just do the like lay and like hand job, maybe like
Kiss.
a slight blow job, kiss.
Cuddle.
Yeah. Like dry hump.
Yeah, dry humping's the best.
You know, I actually feel that way also with even just heteronormative sex. You know, sometimes my boyfriend and I actually, majority of the time, you know, I'm always one to initiate sex, and I'll be like, should we like do it a little? And he's like, no. So what we do is I roll over and masturbate face down, and then he jerks off, and then I roll back over, and then he'll finish on me, and then we clean up and go to bed. And it's just like it's satisfying for both, sexy for both. We're both involved in each other's process.
Yeah.
And it's easier. No one really has to do like that much physical labor. So it's nice.
On
Nice.
episode 6, which is the one that I actually, like the first time I came, Christina Hutchinson, who runs the Guys We Fucked podcast, says that she was like, oh, mutual masturbation can be really fun. And I was like, I don't see how that's a thing. Like, I'm not there yet. But you guys, I'm there now. It's
Yes.
Yeah.
like, I'll use masturbation as a tactic to get sex.
Totally. You start.
Like, you just start.
You start.
Yeah, you're like, oh, we're up in the morning. Oh, I'll just reach for my thing. And then he's like, well, I want to get involved.
Yeah, because like their dick can't control it.
They
you know?
can't.
Like, even if they're not in the mood, they're like, and then it just like goes up, you know?
No,
They're
and I
ready.
think that like masturbating in front of somebody is so scary because that you really are being like sexually
Your
authentic.
truest self.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because a lot of
Extremely
times when you're like
vulnerable.
it's so performative with somebody else, and you're like kind of like doing things to them that you think they'll like, or kind of like acting or whatever. And when you're just masturbating, you're actually like kind of having to show someone like this is what I actually like
Totally.
to feel.
And you're not performing. I like that. I love that. It's so performative, like regular sex. When you're masturbating, I mean, when I'm having sex, I'm like on top. I'm like trying to like, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to like portray what I see on TV.
Yeah,
Just trying to be
of
like
course.
sexy girl, you know? When I'm masturbating, I look like, I don't even know. It looks terrible. You know,
Like, I
It's
think I look like I'm crying.
So
most of it,
bad.
especially the on the stomach thing, like, is real.
Ugh, but you
like,
can really
I'll
get it,
bury
you
my
know?
face in the pillow and I'll just
Fully.
be like,
and like your ass is all tightened up, you know.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah.
and instead, like when I'm on top, I'm trying to like arc my back and like ride, like make my butt all big.
Yeah.
And like when I'm masturbating face down, it's like
you
just
can make your
clenched and
ass
tight
so
and, like,
small,
yeah.
like a little Grinch.
You're just getting down on the bed or whatever it is. It's so much better.
And I think once you're able to do that, sex is so much better too, because then when it's not working for you, you can just like start doing the things that you would do when you're masturbating. But like
Yeah.
getting over that hurdle is really scary.
It's actually true that you say that because it's like before my boyfriend and I did the mutual masturbation, you know, it's like I couldn't just get on top and lie face down on him like a board and just like hardcore rub my body on him, you know, because
Yeah.
like I was trying to be a sexy girl, but like he clearly knows that's what I like. He sees it. So now when I get on top, that's like what I do, and it's nice because he knows that like this is what I like. This is what works for me.
Yeah. I feel like any revealing, like, I think it's much hotter to masturbate in front of someone and show them like who you really are.
And also, I get very turned on when I see my boyfriend masturbate in front of me. I like make him start sometimes and pretend to masturbate because like that turns me on.
Really?
Yeah, we'll be laying in bed and I'm like, can you start masturbating? He's like, I'm not in the mood. I'm like, can you just like pretend to jerk off a bit? Because like that will get me excited.
Nice.
Yeah. I also like, I have a fantasy, a thought in my head where like, it's like the sleeping girl and like he's laying in bed next to me, like jerking off. And I wake up to this guy like jerking off next to me. You know, it's a little perverse.
Yeah.
But I like it. So he does that.
No, totally. And I think we were talking about this in the first half too a little bit, but like I used to have this delayed ejaculation issue. And I think a lot of women we were saying
we
have
didn't
like.
even get into that.
Wait,
that
what do you
much.
mean?
So I used to like for years, I would rarely ejaculate. And I think it was like kind of like psychological. Like it would just freak me out. And I was like freaked out by sex. And I think it's similar to like vaginismus, which I know you've discussed on the podcast. It's like the male version of that. And so for me to get over that, it took like dating my ex-boyfriend who I was so comfortable with and kind of like integrating masturbation essentially into the sex to like be comfortable with it and to kind of be able to be like, this is what I like, and this, and actually like identify on a subconscious level, like this is what will make me come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know, but I feel like I'm the only boy that I ever have heard talk about this. But it's common because I talked to a urologist
I recorded
for an article.
an episode with somebody who had the same
I missed this one.
problem.
I need to
No,
listen to it.
It doesn't exist. It got deleted.
Wait, I'm
Oh.
confused
Yeah.
though. I just need some clarification. So when you say delayed ejaculation, you mean like it took you a long time to get to that point, or you'll be in a sexual situation and then you won't ejaculate until delayed, you know, like until later on?
Oh no, yeah. So
no,
it's
no,
like,
no. That would be wonderful. That's like you just
you're like
last
walking down
for
the
a
street
long
3 hours
time.
later, and you're like, I'm so
Right.
sorry, I just like hit you in the eye.
Yeah.
No, it's like
I was thinking like a delayed reaction, you know, like something.
no, it's like the opposite of premature ejaculation, but it's
Oh,
like
okay.
literally like somebody could give you head for like hours and you just wouldn't come, and you kind of like like I would be hard, but not really feel it.
Wow.
It's kind of almost like almost a phantom limb, but maybe like the opposite of a phantom limb, like
right, because you feel your phantom
zombie
limb. But
limb.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Did
my
it ever
God.
happen alone though?
Yes, like that was the other thing. I think I was just so out of touch with my body. Like I remember once in the beginning when I would try to masturbate, I was like, I don't get this. And I think it was just
Yeah.
something
Interesting.
about me was like freaked out by sex.
Okay.
Because
So
it's the shame aspect again, you know, like you
Yeah.
just, it's
no,
like,
but it's like a medical, like with vaginismus, it's like like your vagina
have to get,
is
like,
afraid
dilators.
of penetration. Yeah, you have to get dilators.
So many of
and
my
shit.
friends in
Yeah.
college had vaginismus.
Listen
and
to the
Oh my
two Mary
God.
Vaginismus episodes,
Wow.
parts 1 and 2, recorded in LA and New York. Ooh.
I'm literally going to, I'm very curious.
It's really
Yeah.
fascinating. They had like dilators that were like different sized fingers essentially, and you like work your way up.
Oh my God.
And then for just quickly, in case anyone out there is listening with the delayed ejaculation, like that
Yeah.
can come from antidepressants, neurological issues. Like it can actually be a nerve thing.
Yeah.
And then a lot of it, I think, is just like psychological. But it's
Well,
crazy how psychosomatic things work.
Did you ever like talk to your parents about it?
No.
No. Like, because what are you going to do? Be like, I'm not.
Can you take me to the doctor
Yeah.
for this?
I didn't
Yeah.
even really like talk to my friends about it until like late college.
It's also hard to like acknowledge your own sexual type of dysfunction in a way, you know, like it's the same way, like if you have any type of ailment, you're like, oh, it's fine. You know, like I don't need to go to the doctor. It's fine. Like you
Or
just
if
kind
you
of
don't have enough people talking about it.
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
just like, oh, I must be so like I
yeah,
don't know.
I was like, what? Because nobody else was
Before
talking about
I started
it.
the podcast. I was like, oh, I'm broken.
Uh-huh.
Like it's just not going to happen for me, and that's like something
That's what
I
I
just have
thought.
to deal
That's
with
what I
in my
thought
life.
too.
I was
yeah.
so shook, like that you couldn't even have an orgasm masturbating, because like I did not have an orgasm with men until now. So like
Until
and-
this boyfriend.
yeah, and every other boyfriend that I was like, you were my first orgasm. Wow, oh my
You
God.
would lie to everyone.
Every single one of them.
Love it.
Yeah, and, I
Right.
mean, I was in like year-long relationships, 2-year-long relationships. What was I gonna like do? Be like, oh, I've never like, is this not working for me? I mean, now I would, but
Yeah.
then I couldn't. I was like so insecure, and I was just like, oh my God, date me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Like I'll do everything for you. Just tell people I'm your girlfriend. Just
100%. Like, just like, and in my head, I was like, I don't even care if I never have an orgasm with you. Like, I can do it myself, and like, you know, those like weren't my priorities. Then.
Yeah.
Now I've come out as a woman.
a
and
woman.
No, it's important. But do you guys ever have?
When was your first solo
Oh,
orgasm?
I was a child masturbator. My mom
Okay.
took me to the doctor at 8 months old and said she thinks I was orgasming.
Stop it.
Truly.
Start your story again.
Yeah.
Oh no, but I go down such
Whoa.
weird like
Yes.
Wikipedia black holes. But I remember
was
once
God
reading. I think I was like
calling,
in a
saying,
gender
"Good
and
job."
sexuality class.
Yeah.
Your mom was college, and it
Yeah.
was about early childhood sexuality, and it was like all these children like masturbating with stuffed animals and like
A blanket, a
Yeah,
baby
yeah.
blanket. So what did it say? Am I a sociopath? Like, what is
No,
it?
I think
No,
that
it's,
people.
like,
I think that's very
normal.
natural, and I think
Yeah.
it's like very much repression that you feel like you're a sociopath for doing that, because I think we all probably did some of that, but like it sounds like you were just much more like free spirited.
I had this satin blanket and I loved it. I used to take the edges and like rub it between my legs, and that's like really what got me going on the face down mechanism. Was like,
That's what Lindsay did too. Did you know
yeah,
that?
she was like so shameful about it, and then like we both talked about it and we were dying. But like, well, she takes the
Episode 2, by the way.
She
Listen
takes
to
a
that.
pillow.
Lindsay Metzler on We
She-
Met at Acme.
She's a slightly different technique. Let's just put it that way. But it's a little.
or no, it's on this podcast, but she's from We Met at Acme. But listen to that episode.
We're a little
yeah.
cut from the same cloth, pun intended.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd use that blanket, and then I would hump myself to sleep, and I literally did it like every night until I was like in 8th grade, and then I just remember being in the pool like with 2 of my friends, and we used to play this game where we would each hold one. So one person would hold like one of our ankles, the other person would hold the other ankle, and we would essentially like, you know, like we would pull our legs like with them spread in the water,
Okay.
like around the pool, because like it felt really
Oh,
good.
just to give some like jet motion.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And then
Yeah.
we'd put us against the
Jet, obviously.
jet, yeah. And then I just remember that feeling like exactly the same way as what I did in bed. And then I like completely stopped, because I was like, this is so weird that I do this at night. Like I got very confused as like where and when the orgasm was supposed to happen.
I do that in my alone space, not in the pool with.
We were young. I was with like 2 of my girlfriends. We loved it.
Wait, when that okay, so I remember like skinny dipping when I was younger, and like I think being erect, and then like doing a similar thing, and then like the chlorinated water like went up my urethra, and like I remember like peeing and being like, this is what it feels like to have chlamydia. Like it
Yikes.
You're like, I have
burned.
sinned.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, God is like, get the fuck out of the pool.
That is not good. I had a saltwater pool, so
Oh
I
my
don't
God,
know. Yeah,
Lux.
they were
I
very
think
ahead
you were
of their
ahead of your time,
Mhm.
yeah.
yeah. We had dogs. My mom just thought the chlorine was bad, you know.
That's so cute. Shit.
See, I think the shame is so real though, and it like shows with you because you've literally been coming your whole life.
Totally.
And then it's like, oh no, but not with a person.
It was like so weird. And also for a long time, I found myself like with all my past boyfriends when I wasn't having orgasms, I found myself like we would have sex and it was kind of similar to what you were saying. Like I wouldn't feel it. It was like the zombie organ and I just wouldn't feel anything. And then the second we were finished, then I would get really horny, replay the sex and masturbate to it. And then I could come but during I couldn't like,
because you're thinking too much about what the other person's.
I also think there was like a shame aspect because I got so used to doing it by myself that then it got confusing like because then it was only something I could do with myself.
That's
it was
me
like,
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I remember I had this like thing where I would start kind of assuming that I wouldn't be able to come, and then would be like having sex with somebody, and they would like start to do something to me, and I'd kind of be like, don't even like bother. Like I would kind of like just get into this really like one-sided
That's me.
sexual relationship, and it felt so like it made me feel so shitty. But then at the same time, I was like as like a I don't know, it's not like a feminist, but like an egalitarian or whatever. I was like, I want things too, but then I was like, but I don't actually want them to do it because I feel like I'll feel embarrassed for not being able to do it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it just kind of like perpetuated itself though, because then I was like never pushing myself to come because I was just kind of like shutting it down prematurely, but then also getting like more and more freaked out by it.
It's a cycle.
It's a cycle
a vicious one.
Self-abuse.
Yeah.
Self-deprivation.
Ugh.
That's the thing with you though, is that like while you were having sex didn't you ever want to come with the guy? Did you ever think it was important?
I couldn't do it. Like then, well, I mean, all of my college sex was like very drunk and also like with all people that I was not attracted to. Like it was never for me. Like, you know, it's interesting because like when I did that step, you know, and in sobriety you do like a sex inventory, there was no one on my list that was like, I did this for me because I wanted to, you know, like, and so, no, I never did want to. That was never like a thought on my mind. Like during sex was never to be like, okay, I gotta come. You know, like, let's focus on this.
I'm here
like,
for you.
Yeah, it was just like, and I was using then. I was like very drunk then, and I was just really like, I was having an orgasm from the fact that I was like wanted and being validated.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
That was my relationship to sex for like all of college.
Yeah.
And high school.
It was just so validating. Like, yeah.
And I was like, okay, people still want to have sex with me. Like, check.
Check.
Yeah.
Literally check.
It was like an emotional orgasm.
Yep.
When did you become sober?
I got sober 9 months ago, so I feel like I'm being birthed right now.
Really?
Yes.
Mazel.
Thank you.
That gestation period.
Truly. Yes.
What was the impetus?
You know, it's so interesting. Like everyone has these like hardcore bottoms, and I really didn't have a hardcore bottom.
Yeah.
Nobody was like, we need to talk about like your drinking, or like we think you're using drugs. Like nobody knew anything. I quit my job. I was like unemployed for 2 years, telling myself that I was doing creative endeavors. I told myself I was a writer. I told myself I was an actor, but really I was just taking Adderall all day and drinking. And I couldn't really keep that up anymore. And then I just had this like, I had tried to stop so many times. Like the Adderall was taking so much of it. I tried to stop drinking so many times. And the more I would do it, like the less people would notice. Nobody had a clue. My boyfriend didn't know, my parents, my friends. And I was so depressed and so miserable. And I just had this like aha moment. And it was like, oh, like maybe you're so depressed because like you secretly sit in your apartment and take so much Adderall all day and drink so much all day, like by yourself.
Yeah.
And nobody knows this. And you've been trying to stop for months and you can't. So I hit up this girl that I knew that was like in the program and was like, take me to a meeting. Let's do this. Because I just knew.
Do you like meetings?
I love the meetings.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes I hate them and like resent them fully. But I do like them. I like being sober and sometimes I hate it and resent it fully. But yeah, I like myself a lot better.
That's
I really
great.
do. It's an emotional journey. I'll say that. Oh
So-
God.
Yeah, and you've been dating your boyfriend for a while.
Yeah,
So-
for 2 years.
And then the second you were like, I'm gonna be sober, was he supportive? Or?
Yeah, well, because we had been fighting so much then, and it like didn't make sense, and it was all me like being secretly drunk that he didn't know, like picking fights, and being so like hyped up and on so much Adderall, and you know, something was very
Just
wrong.
think about Jessie Spano.
Yeah, she's like, I'm so excited. Yeah, that was literally me.
Yeah.
That was literally me, okay? Like 24/7. Like I would call him in the middle of the day. He'd be like in a meeting. I'd be like going on these long-winded rants, like something I just researched on Adderall, and then like we'd get to his place and I'd already have like drank like a whole bottle of wine and I'd like pick a fight with him. But like it was just crazy.
Yeah.
So our relationship was in a bad spot. So when I like came clean to him and told him I went to a meeting that morning and that like I'm getting sober, you know, he was like very confused and shocked because he had no idea and was so supportive and just
That's
like
awesome.
has been truly like the best. I can't.
That's the best.
Yeah. He
And
likes
he's
me so
never-
much better. He's like, oh my God, you're like so much more normal. This is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've kept most of your same friends too, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been like a loner, so like I always have my friends, but I always keep them at like arm's length distance.
Well,
you know,
Virgo.
yeah.
You're a very alone in your head person, and so am I.
I'm a Virgo
Are you a Virgo too?
Oh
Yeah.
my God! Thank
Oh,
God.
yeah, I
This
knew
is
I'm
this
September
about you.
8th.
September 13th.
September 9th.
Oh,
Ah!
wow! This is an earthy
3
triangle.
psychos.
We
in a
are starting a
triangle.
coven.
Thank God. Yes. Oh my God! It feels
We're
so
gonna kill
energetic
a
in here.
Libra.
Let's do it. Or the Leos. Who knows? Wow. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, all of us Virgos were like so hard in our head, and I was just like a loner.
Yeah.
And I have most of the same friends. I have a lot of new friends. My best friends are my cats, Cynthia
Yeah.
and Winston. And I think I've just like gotten closer with people actually, because like now I'm available
You're more
to be there for
yourself,
people.
too.
Like
yeah.
it was very self-centered, you know,
Yeah.
like yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Love that. But you still smoke?
No.
No?
No, they call that like California sober, LA sober.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It is.
'Cause,
Or
like-
like comedian sober. Like a lot of comics
Yeah.
that will be sober. And
Yeah, there's
still
like
smoke.
there's a lot of, I mean, you know, some people in the program will be like, no, you don't smoke, but I know a lot of like sober people that do. I just don't. I smoked weed for so long, and then I stopped smoking weed like 3 months before I got sober because I realized that I didn't like it. You know, like
Yeah.
I got so paranoid and so like, plus I liked the uppers. I was Jessie Spano, so excited, you know, like, so like I would smoke weed and then I'd be like, oh, I'm too down. So like I would take like a chip of like an Adderall. And like, I don't know if you know what like the Adderall weed rosé combo looks like, but it's like, it looks like you think you're an artist and then you get like naked in your apartment and you paint your body and you paint your cats and you paint your walls and like that, like I just couldn't handle that, you know, like,
Right.
So I stopped smoking weed.
Yeah, I think it's whatever works for you. Like, if the weed is also something that's a hindrance on your life, like,
Right.
maybe you need to be sober from that too.
Well, yeah, it's so interesting because I feel like everyone has like different versions of like what does and doesn't qualify. Because some
Yeah.
people like would like I still take Adderall because like I really feel like I have ADHD.
And you don't have the obsession over it. I'm
yeah,
guessing.
like I haven't
Right.
taken it for like a week, and I'm just like, 'cause I
Right.
just like ran out. But like I do, like I feel actually like a more productive person. But then some people like can't, and then
Yeah.
some people I feel like you're even like a little bit like antidepressants because they're like you should just totally like feel yourself. Or I'm like antidepressants for life.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
some people on antidepressants like get suicidal.
Yeah,
So
right. They're really
if that's not for you,
Right.
There's
Yeah,
that
it's really
too.
crazy because like, it's like a weird thing where you have to be so careful because some people are suicidal without and some people are
Yeah.
suicidal with.
Yeah.
So you have to be so careful about like encouraging or discouraging.
It's like
Yeah.
birth control.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I wanted to talk about. We were both talking about this documentary yesterday.
Oh my
that
God,
we
yes.
never got to.
We never got to
Have
it.
you ever seen Tickled?
Never saw Tickled.
Okay,
What is
have
it?
you heard about Tickled?
I don't think so.
I've seen
I don't
Tickled
know
twice.
Okay, I don't know how many spoilers I want to give people, but like essentially it's. Do you like to be tickled, first of all?
I have a thing about being tickled. I don't think anybody does.
It's
I
a
don't think
grooming
anybody does.
behavior. I feel like it's like what happens to you when somebody's trying to molest you.
Yeah.
100%. It's a weird thing. Nobody likes it.
No, but
I'm offended by it.
I did a
Me
poll
too.
the other day
I saw
on the
that.
Instagram. Yeah, and
I was actually
like,
disgusted by that. I was like, who the fuck
Who
likes getting
No, but
tickled?
it was like it was a very small
It's like
percentage.
a clown.
But
like
some-
Ronald
my
McDonald was
God.
like, I love it.
Yeah.
No, but some like it's torture, I think, essentially. But everybody seemed to like from the polls soft back tickle. tickles.
Soft back tickles
that
are
is-
nice.
Oh,
that
like
is-
the like kind of like lesbian all girls school like
That's what
stroke
I-
tickles.
literally-
Yeah, like tickle my arm.
I feel like I used to like trick my girlfriends into like tickling my lower back.
Wait,
and
yeah,
then you're
all
like,
of
tickle my
my
vagina.
Like no, and I've always known. I was like,
Yes.
no, but I've always known that my lower back is my spot.
Yeah.
because I'd always try to trick my girlfriends into. I'd be like, tickle my lower back.
I'd never heard of this.
That's right.
I grew up in Syracuse and like this was not a thing. Then I went to Brown and like all of my closest friends, not all of them, but a lot of them were like New York City private school girls, and they all were like had this like lesbianic.
Yeah,
Oh, let's do a tickle train.
And they would say that they like got in trouble in school for like tickling each other's like inner thighs.
Wait,
And I was
oh my-
like,
the
this
tickle
is
the inner thigh, like-
fascinating.
yeah. Everybody
like a-
likes that.
Yeah.
But nobody likes. I mean, not nobody. Apparently, a very small percentage, but. Nobody likes actual armpits, like
No.
back, like coochie coochie coo. Like,
No,
like
that's
make
That's
you
like
laugh.
that's like a priest behavior.
Right.
Yeah. I love the Ronald McDonald. I'm still laughing. It's so true.
So in this document, so after I put up that poll, one of the How Come fans, shout out, wrote in and she was like, have you seen the documentary Tickled? And I was like, no. And I immediately just bought it on YouTube because I was like, it has to be, it's a documentary called Tickled. What the fuck? Like, is it about torture?
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically, it's like, it's very dark.
It's
like,
so dark.
so, okay. Do you want to explain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Spoil a
basically it's
little.
like, can I
Spoil a
spoil?
little. Yeah.
Okay, then just edit it out if I spoil too much.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, there's a New Zealand journalist,
Yeah.
a Kiwi, and he,
A gay Kiwi.
a gay Kiwi. I know
Yeah.
I slid into his DMs to actually try to interview him, but secretly I just wanted to like make out.
Yeah.
Ethics.
Industry.
You can tickle him.
I'm really ethical.
Me too.
Andy Cohen, hi. But yeah, so like he finds out about this like tickling cultural phenomenon in the U.S. where basically they
It's
make
called
videos.
like competitive tickling, and there's like these like guys, and they're all wearing like athletic
Wrestling
kind
moment.
of like a jersey, like matching shorts and tops, and they're like
Like they look like straight bros who can't dress in high school.
Yeah.
What's the objective, though?
They get
That's
you
the
get
whole point.
strapped
Okay.
onto like a board or like tied down, and then it's whoever can last the longest being tickled. But it literally it's this crazy thing where you're like, this thing that is kind of silly becomes torture so quickly. Like they're in pain.
yeah, and like
Is it a sexual act?
Well, watching it,
I think
you're like
watching
this.
it,
This
it's like a fetish.
must be a fetish, and so like I was like, oh, like haha, this is so funny at first, and so he wrote in because he's like. He is a journalist and his thing is like the bizarre and like he'll go out and do like puff pieces. And so he was like, oh, I want to be part of this like and do it for a piece. And so they write back and it's this company called like Jane O'Brien and they start
Jane
sending
O'Brien
him
Media.
like vicious mail being like, we don't want to be associated with homosexuals and like I looked into you and you're a homosexual journalist.
tickle
and
people?
The tickle
Yeah.
people.
It sounds so homoerotic, though. No?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then he starts like looking further, and then they're like start threatening him and shit, and basically goes down this rabbit hole, and then you figure out like the root of the world of this tickling empire.
And
Where
there's-
pain meets pleasure.
And there's this really awful like class dynamic. Like a lot of the people who are doing the videos are these like impoverished people. Like they go to like middle of nowhere Michigan or something where it's like really small houses and it's really snowy, and these people just seem like they're so desperate. And it's like he interviews some of the people
For
and
what? Do they
for
pay
money,
them?
they
I'm
get
so
paid.
No, they
confused.
pay
They get
them a
paid.
lot.
they pay them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, so it is kind of almost like a form of porn, but then
But they
there are
don't
people who are
know
getting
that
blackmailed, like they're
yeah.
football players, and it's like, look at him doing this really gay thing.
Oh my God.
And who are like
Yeah.
one guy's like a coach of like young people,
Yeah,
and
and
they're
they-
basically being like, he's a pedophile.
Yeah, but it's so like the company goes after people for like taking like they'll be like, can you take this down? Like
So it's blackmail tickle porn?
yeah,
Yes.
but and it's
What?
so
But it's
bizarre.
even-
And then like
I don't get it.
It's beyond blackmail. There's like a really sadistic thing that you find out through the movie, but it's like not even, they're not doing it for money. They're doing it to ruin people's lives.
literally.
For,
so does
for
like
sport.
somebody like does like a scorned ex-wife like pay someone?
But it's
to
also
there's
it's
a
also the
villain.
person's
Okay.
fetish too.
There's a villain who's
Yeah.
like such a scary villain.
There's a
Are
villain.
children involved?
No.
I mean,
Thank
these
God.
are young.
They're like 18
They're like
probably.
18. They're still impressionable.
It's, like, barely
boys
legal.
That like
No
yeah, like,
females?
no
No.
females. Mm-mm.
That's why it's weird that they're like, like, I feel like they might even call him a faggot,
Yeah. Oh, they do.
right?
Yeah.
This is
So I
insanely
feel
weird.
so weird saying that word. Like I
I know.
repeat it, and
You're
I'm like,
allowed.
I also like have
You're
this,
taking it back.
I have this upstate hard A thing, and so like my A's are really straight. Like I'm like faggot,
Yeah.
yeah.
faggot. Like
Love
I'm
that.
practicing.
Did you know that faggoting is actually
A stitch.
A stitch. Yeah.
Yes, I used to work in fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tim
interesting.
taught me that.
I always
Uh-huh.
know the like
Our friend from
bundle of
college.
sticks thing.
Yeah.
Who
stitch.
was on another episode?
Oh my God, we're getting so many
So
episodes.
many episode
This is like
plugs.
an index
Yeah.
episode.
Literally. Actually, I have one of those too. It's called the Sum Up, Come Down, parts 1 and 2. You
Saw that.
Yeah, it's great. It's like for the person who doesn't want to listen to How Come but wants to know all the juice.
Love that. Perfect.
It's like the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, so I don't want to ruin Tickled too much.
But watch it.
I'm
But
going home
watch
to watch
it.
it.
No, it's really scary. I saw it in theaters and was so scared. And then
You saw it in
can I just-
theaters.
Yeah, it was at the Sunshine Cinemas on
Wow.
Houston, which is one
Okay.
of my favorite theaters. Rip. But I don't want to ruin this, but like I just do want to say this, and this can be edited out if it's too much of a spoiler. But the villain of the movie would show up at screenings after, like,
Stop.
there'd be Q&As at the end of screenings, and then people. So it's really scary when you see the end, and then this person would be in the room, like arguing with people. And,
There like
after
a
I saw it-
industry for this? Like, are there a lot of like subscribers to these
Yes.
videos?
No,
Well,
I'm gonna
honestly,
edit this
it's-
part out. But okay, so it's sorry guys, you can't hear this now.
It's so crazy, but it's
Yeah.
really. I was
They
so
should
scared
do-
after I saw it.
They should do
All
a
right,
whole
we're
different,
back.
a whole different tickle thing where I think we go back to the private school girls.
Yeah.
And it can be obviously of age girls, but this could be like a separate porn section where it's
Just
like
like
girls
enjoying.
who are dressed up, you know, as private school girls, and they're just enjoying tickle trains because I bet there's a whole crowd for that too.
Like
Hell
ASMR.
What is
Yeah.
that?
It's like the-
ASMR.
when you talk like this into a thing and then you
Oh my god, that's a thing.
Yeah, and people listen to it.
hear in the back of your neck.
Wait,
I'm
people
bad
like
at this.
that?
I sound
No,
like
you're
I'm literally
pretty
getting
good.
like choked.
You're pretty
Wait,
good.
hold on. So,
It's like audio porn.
Or it's
for
like
people.
if something was like crinkling.
oh my god,
Yeah, or like eating, or like a lot of eating, or unboxing when you're just unwrapping something.
Can you get paid to do that?
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
people make
People make a lot of money.
A child made millions of dollars last year opening presents.
I want to do that. I was just
Stop.
talking to my
Dr.
boyfriend about how on a
Pimple Poppers
webcam.
made so much money.
Dr.
She has a
Pimple
show on
Poppers
TLC,
made
by the
so
way.
I love
much
her
money.
so much.
So much. How relaxing are those videos?
She's the cutest.
Yeah.
She's actually so hot. Have you seen her?
Yeah, she's like totally.
She's a fox. Yeah.
It's not the sexiest topic, but it's very good and interesting.
I mean, some people I'm sure are attracted to pimple pop. I mean, like
I'm
some
not
people like
attracted
to
to it,
watch.
but I love it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I
nice
love
to
it.
watch.
Give me your blackheads.
Yeah.
I like to
Give
watch
me your
those
cysts.
videos too, like where like a soap is being cut.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
I
Yeah.
still like watching those.
Truly.
Yeah.
And you kind of like crunch your back, but
And
you're
it's
not
just-
sure why.
Yeah, and it's just like so good. Like, or those OCD videos where it's like a mess that's been like scraped away.
Wait, did you see the
Ever
carpet one today?
No.
Oh, there's one on Unpleasing Videos. It was a carpet being cleaned and it was unbelievable. Those are brain orgasms.
Yeah. Ah.
Yes.
I mean, this is like a little
here.
different, but I'm very addicted to like getting scared. Like I listen to like serial killer
Oh,
podcasts,
whoa.
and then we'll be in my house like
So
kind of
do you
getting the
do
adrenaline of like
Fear-based like role-playing fantasies?
no,
Like pretend to be a
I
burglar,
should do
like or
that.
a murderer.
I probably
You
should,
like
but
that.
but I'm scared that
Role-playing?
Yeah.
I love like all these different ideas. Like yeah,
I've never
But
really
I'm not a
role
murderer.
played.
But how do you do it? Like, if you're like, I guess you guys just aren't shy at this point.
So
or like,
he's gonna kill me for saying this, but I make him pretend that I'm this girl, and he's cheating on me with her,
oh my god,
and I love it. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Mhm. I think her name was Sam or Julie. Like sometimes.
Is she a real person?
No, we
Oh.
just like, except one time he used this girl's name that is a real person, and I was like, wait, are you like thinking of?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, no. But
It's just a name I know.
yeah, I like to like, I'll you know, just, oh my God, he's going to so kill me, but I'll just be like, he'll think we're just, you know, have normal like going at it. And I'll just be like, what if your girlfriend finds out? Like, I don't think we should do this. And then he gets right into it because he knows that's what I like.
You're
yeah.
into it, yeah.
Mhm. When I told him like, you know, I want to do more like, I like the idea of like him jerking off next to me in bed because I'm going to pretend like I like passed out at like a party or something, you know. I know these are my healthy fantasies, okay? Like I
Fantasies.
don't want this to happen, but this is how I like to
Right.
express, you know.
Because ultimately,
I don't
you're safe.
condone exactly. I don't condone like, you know, men going into parties with a sleeping girl and fucking her, but
Or jacking off next to
right,
her.
or jacking off next to her because that's not okay.
Don't do that.
But with two consenting and loving partners, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with it. So what
Or
I
if you've texted her before being like, hey, I'm going to go out tonight. Maybe I'll show up. And she's like, great. Come to my dorm. Jack off next to me. I'll be
yes.
sleeping."
If she explicitly invites that, absolutely. So
That's like interesting. Like if that happened and then somebody then pressed, I wonder just legally if you could be like,
maybe
Hell
I'll
yeah,
ask the
you
law
could-
firm.
If
Right.
someone's jacking off next to you.
no,
That's
but like if
sexual
you
harassment.
texted,
Oh, if you texted.
that seems interesting because I wonder if you could like change your, you know what I mean?
No, that seems like a binding written contract to me. I
Right.
don't know, but it
Yeah.
does.
I'm getting like
Uh-huh.
a little lofty.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, it shouldn't really play out like in real life. I really don't think so. I think everyone should be like awake and acting, you know? When I told him that, he was very confused. He was like, you know, he's a Virgo male. He's not as like
What day?
adventurous.
Ben's also a Virgo.
Really?
male.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
What days?
He's
August
September
30th.
17th.
Oh.
We have one August, one in the bunch.
He's like an early Virgo.
Yeah. But not cusp, but early. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, so I can't mention my name. So he was like, okay, so I can do that. He's like, so should I knock? And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, you want me to leave the room and like knock? And I was like, oh, I guess that would be nice. Cause like you
And like
that,
creep in.
yes.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that's like more, I love that you're like
Realistic.
building onto the story, you know, like we're really arcing the scene.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Like, I love that. He has yet to knock, but it's something we've discussed.
I always think about, or when you first were like, maybe you like fantasies, like this is the shit that I like.
Yeah.
I was like, that sounds fun, but I don't think that's what the problem is. But I immediately thought of that scene in Girls. Remember when Lena Dunham and Adam fuck like the first time, and he's like, "You're a little girl, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave you like out in the rain, and you have to
Yeah,
walk home
like-
to your daddy covered in cum or something like that." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm a little girl in the rain." And
I'm literally him. I'm like, okay, I am a little girl. Like, covered in cum.
I'm standing in the rain, cover me in cum. I'll walk home to my daddy.
100%.
That's amazing. Cool. I think I talked about do you want to talk about anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay, great. Oh, well, who are the most interesting people that you have interviewed, like that you've gotten nuggets of truth that like apply to your life? Or like anyone who said something surprising in an interview that you were like, oh, I didn't know about you, this aspect of you as a person.
I really liked, I feel like, which is on brand for this podcast, interviewing Amber Rose, because I feel like she is somebody who's like so sex positive, and I feel like now she was before that was cool. And I remember when I was talking to her and she was just talking about like slut walks and whatever, and things that I, 3 years ago or whatever might have felt like were a little bit like extra.
Yeah.
Just because like internalized, misogyny and the patriarchy, yada yada. I was like, why are people doing slut walks? This is crazy. But now I'm like, that's cool. And like she was doing it when people were really like, you're a whore. Like, why are you like stomping around town doing this? And I feel like hearing that was interesting, because I feel like even as I become more comfortable sexually, I'm still like in certain ways kind of like conservative.
Yeah, totally.
The Virgo in you. I think actually I have a sense. I think she's a Virgo too.
I kind of feel like she's a Virgo too.
Yeah. We'll Google that
also
after.
a Virgo, Beyonce.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Gotta love
That makes
her.
a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And so is Fiona Apple.
So is
same
the Virgin
birthday.
Mother Mary.
It's like
Yes.
we're very like old souls like early on, and then we become very young.
Mm-hmm.
We're,
Like,
We're Benjamin
immature.
Button.
I
Yeah.
love that. So is my cat, actually. They thought he was older, but he's actually younger. So, he has that. Yeah. Yeah.
And his handle is
His-
at Fig Newton.
at Fig Newton. And Cynthia's is actually, which is also on brand for this podcast, is at Slutty Cat.
Love it.
Yeah.
And Grace is at Gracie Muse.
Bernie Sanders and Sugar are at Sugar and Bernie Sanders.
Amazing.
I like had to think for a second.
I'm dead for this.
Yeah, I was thinking about slut walks though the other day because this woman, Sparkle Bailey, came over and interviewed me, and she said she did the slut walk with Amber Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she had brought it up, and I was like, would people accept the equivalent for guys though if guys wanted to have like a proud of my dick walk or proud of my, you know what I mean? Like,
Our vagina, like, do people like
I don't
walk around fully
No, I don't
naked?
think they walk. I think maybe there's tits out.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was thinking the equivalent would be like pride.
Yeah.
Because like
Literally,
people
like
are-
I was in Pride next to this man who like was wearing a net that
Yeah.
his penis was in, and it was like so big. I was like, this feels kind of like offensive. Like it's
Like a mesh net? Like
it was like a
see-through
mesh
net?
moment, and I feel like
Wow.
if when he like walked, it was like slapping my elbow, and I was like, this is
There is
too
something so
much.
like almost offensive about just like an open dick, like on the street.
dicks are kind of like weapons of like mass
100%
destruction.
fully.
yeah,
They're pretty like violent.
at this
like a
point,
vagina
they've done a
doesn't
lot
feel
of
that
harm.
violent to
Right,
me. You know what I
yeah.
mean? They're like welcoming arms of a
warm.
cute.
It also like
grandmother.
retreats inwards, It's like
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you have to come to me. I can't
Yeah.
like chase you
Like
with
you
an
can't
erect
like
penis and put
violently
it somewhere.
penetrate
Yeah.
someone with your clit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't smack someone with your clit either.
Yeah.
which
I
you
feel
can
like some
with your
people
dick.
can.
Maybe they
some
can
people
actually.
can.
There's all different vulvas out
That's
there.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is true. on that.
Love your vulva.
Love your
Vulva
vulva.
positive.
Vulva positive.
Sounds like a disease.
Vulvas
though.
are beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
My sister Charlotte the other day was telling me that she has strep and she's got like pustules on the back of her uvula in her mouth, and I read it as vulva, and I was like, Charlotte, that's not strep.
Yeah, that's warts.
You have a disease. You guys, this has been so much fun.
This has been so cute.
So fun.
cute.
So Virgo-esque.
Yeah.
We're Virgin Virgos.
I was the long. Wait, when did you lose your V card?
16 on Valentine's Day, a snow day.
Oh, very cute.
That's
very
cute.
sweet.
Yeah.
I was also 16. It was the first day of spring break.
Oh,
You?
15 in a car.
wow.
Nice. You guys,
Not
can
fun.
you remind my followers where they can find you online?
Yeah, I'm going to just spell it again because my
Okay,
name is
yeah.
weird. It's at Seamuskirst, and you can buy my book on Amazon.
Perfect.
Or in the link in my Instagram bio.
Britt, do you want to be found?
Sure. Mine's at BRITNI Diamond, at Britni Diamond. And you cannot buy my book because I've not written one.
But it's coming.
Yeah.
But she will. Yeah.
Yeah. You
There's
can read
stories
2 articles
inside
that I
you.
wrote. They're actually on Elite Daily.
Ooh.
Actually, there's 4 of them.
What? What are they about? Sex?
Yes.
Fashion?
One of them is about sex, actually. It's
Oh
all the
my
different
God.
things that girls say during sex, that what they really mean.
Oh,
I
fun.
will post that
Yeah.
on the Instagram and the Facebook page.
Please do.
Yeah, you guys can always follow us at How Come Podcast and me at Remy Casimir. And if you want to hear extras, go to patreon.com/How Come. I try to put out extras every Wednesday if we've got juicy things that I don't want, not behind a paywall if we've talked shit or, exposed too much about our boyfriends. This episode is definitely going to have extras. And then we do a post-coitus, which is an after show, which is filmed, and you can enjoy that too. You guys, I have to ask, as a courteous host after a sexual experience, Seamus, did you finish?
I did.
Amazing. Brittany,
Oh
did
my
you
God, I
finish?
did.
Amazing. You guys, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time on How Come. Bye.
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 It's not you, it's me. I try so hard to finish honestly. They say you'll know when you go all the way from A right down to O. Oh no, I think that I've still got a ways to go. Oh, I'm sick of this and I have got to know. How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna just
Me again. I just wanted to give some birthday shout outs for the rest of my Virgo friends. I had fans write in. I was like, if there are any Virgos, send me your birthday and your name. And here are the people that did. September 3rd, happy belated to Alexandra. Bella, happy belated September 5th. Sam on September 10th, happy birthday. Matilda, September 16th. Melanie, September 17th. In Brisbane, Australia, happy birthday. Mariah, also September 17th, happy birthday. Samantha Jean, happy birthday on 9/18. Jay, the gay queen, thought that this post said virgins, which I thought was funny and worth mentioning. And then happy birthday to Jackie in America and Cassie in China on September 20th. And happy birthday to Danielle on September 21st. You guys, if you noticed, today is September 9th, which is my birthday. Yesterday was Seamus Kirst's birthday on September 8th. Happy belated Seamus. Britt's got her birthday this month too. So happy birthday, Britt. Happy birthday, all the Virgos. And thanks again for listening to this episode. And yeah, if you thought I sounded weird in one half or both, let me know. I think actually now listening back, it wasn't as dark as I thought. I just was sober? I don't know. All right. See you guys next week. Bye.